Welcome to Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis. Today, we're going to be talking about, should you really switch rackets to a new racket if you are going to a major tournament, going to the playoffs, going to something important, or just plain switching rackets in general because you've played with a new racket and it feels so good. But should you really switch? Stay tuned. All right, coffee sponsor of today is, it's a new member, Julian Nguyen. Julian Nguyen writes, big fan of the channel since discovering it a few months ago. Oh, thank you, Julian. I appreciate you. And thank you for joining my coffee club. If you want to join my coffee club or hook me up with a hot brew any morning of the day, network is buymeacoffee.com/tennis spin. If you want to just hook up the channel, super thanks is the way. Link is below. Thank you, Julian. I look forward to speaking with you. Okay, so, hang on there. Ooh, that's hot. All right. So, a lot of people, want to try new rackets, and sometimes they find the special racket, or so they think. They've been playing with their racket for a while. Anywhere from 6 months to years, and suddenly they play with a racket that just sings with them. They play out of their mind the first time, possibly the second time, maybe even the third, and they literally have to have it. I call it, Thor's hammer, right? Just because you got Thor's hammer don't mean like you're Thor, right? I've said that before many, many times. So does the racket make the man, or does the man make the racket? But I'm not going to get in the way of psychology here, because if you have confidence in the racket and you feel like you can excel with it, should you really take it to an important match, like a playoff or tournament? I have my opinions about it, but let's ask the coaches and see what they say. Because so many people come up to me and say, I have to play with this racket in the next tournament after playing with it once. I don't know about that, guys. But let's see what the coaches say, okay? See you on the court, or see you with the coaches. All right, Coach Chris. I get this a couple times a month. Literally, let's say the person would be playing with your Radical, right? And let's say, for example, they demo my Blackout 28, and they absolutely play out of their mind with it once, twice, maybe even 3 times. And they are now determined to take this racket, and now it's in their head that they can only play with the new racket to a tournament, and maybe I call it to their honeymoon and their wedding and their marriage. Would you do that if, let's say, you played really, really well with this 28 and you were about to go play tournaments in Tunisia? Would you do that?
No.
Why?
The reason why is that when you're playing with a racket that you've been playing for a long time, you already have developed certain swings, patterns and feel for one thing. If you're playing with another racket, it's going to take more than just one demo session to kind of get used to. There's going to be a lot more with the serve, backhand, forehand volleys that especially when you're performing under pressure. All those things factor into when you're playing, because I'm assuming when you're demoing it, you're not really under as much pressure as if you're going to play a big, tournament, a big prize money tournament. So another thing too is that string, right? I think before, if you start to think about switching a racket, you might maybe think about string, because that also factors in a lot than just all of a sudden switching, 3-4 rackets to Solinko, which are nice rackets, by the way, Solinko. But you want to make sure you figure out what exactly it is that is making you that's causing you to start thinking that way. But I think at the end of the day, you want to, especially if you're playing tournaments, you want to stick with the racket that you're most familiar with. And then when you're not playing, you can build into it by demoing it for a little bit more during practice to slowly find a way into incorporating into tournaments. But you need a little bit more time.
Have you ever done that before in your adolescence? Let's say you were younger. Have you said, that's the racket of my dreams and it's going to play well for me in this tournament? Has that ever happened to you before?
Not me in particular, but I definitely see a lot of my friends who think that way, and they do go through a lot of racket changes throughout the year, maybe 3 or 4. And then they're left with going back to the first one that they started. You see the expensive venture that is? Yeah, full circle. So really, I guess it depends too on your style of play. Are you someone who likes to hit the heck out of the ball? You're aggressive baseliner, are you serve and volleyer, are you counter puncher? All those things factor into what kind of racket is best suited. Just because it plays well doesn't mean you're going to be playing that same particular way every time.
So I know that they're like, oh, my forehand is awesome with this new racket. My serve is booming with this racket. What happens in match play? Like, what happens? What are the excuses that they can't play with it later?
It's pressure. So a lot of the times when they're playing under pressure, that's stuff that they might not feel as if they're swinging with as normally as they are, and because of that, they're not going to be able to get the same sensation most of the time when they're playing with that racket. It's not as reliable because they're still figuring out how the racket plays.
So when we're playing around with a demo racket, even in a practice session, you're swinging more freely. You're just relaxed. You have so much confidence in the racket.
Mm-hmm.
Once you click that switch, flip that switch, and now it counts,
yeah.
Then what happens, right? Is the racket going to be there? Is it going to be where you're used to with your original racket, in the right places at the right time, with the right timing?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Think of it that way. I mean, it normally takes how long to go from, let's say, your old racket to a new racket? Like, what's the full time frame in which you totally get comfortable with a new racket?
I mean, half a year.
Yeah, you're saying half a year. I'm saying 3 months at the fastest. I mean, a month would be pushing it, but you'd probably go through some struggling if you're going to push it to that short of a time frame.
Yep.
3 months, I'd say yes. Anything else, Coach Chris?
Right. I mean, that's the saying that if you're always one of those people that say it's always the racket, you're going to have to start, taking a bit more accountability to how you're playing. So think about ways for you to start to be able to adapt to what you've got right now. And if it really does become an issue where you want to string a different racket, give yourself enough time to really play with it and put yourself under those practice matches, some sets to really give it a go before making that financial expenditure.
Right. All right, guys. So it's not always the racket, okay?
No.
So that's Coach Chris's opinion. Coach Chris, where can I find you?
You can find me at CB Chan Tennis.
All right. Thank you, Coach Chris. We're going to go to Coach Rob now and see what his kids do and what he says to them when they want to do the same thing. All right? See you over there. All right, Coach Rob. I posed this question to Coach Chris already. Now it's your turn since you coach high school kids and kids of all ages and
Yep.
all levels. If one of your kids were to come up to you and say, I currently play with a pro staff,
That's a good choice.
but I've started playing with, hypothetically, a Solinco Blackout, and I've played absolutely out of my mind with it, and I want to switch right now, right before we play playoffs, a tournament, going out to some maybe major thing or
Right.
high school playoffs.
Right.
What is your theory behind that, and how would you guide the little lad?
Okay, so I would probably start with your timing's not great to make a switch before something that is that important. Wait till the off season to try rackets to make the switch. Know that, hey, you played well with the Solinco, so when you get to that off season, that would be one to go back and try. I would also make sure that it wasn't just a one-day wonder where did you just hit for like 10 minutes and you fell in love with it because you hit some great shots, or make sure you play a couple sets with it before you really decide you want to commit.
What if he has his heart set on it, and this is the magic racket? He's played 3 times out and have played lights out all 3
Right.
times.
Right.
What do you tell him then?
And it's still right before a big tournament.
Yes.
Then I'm going to leave it up to him and say, hey, if you really believe in that, but I'm going to just give him my opinion and go, hey, this isn't the time to make a change. Like, there is an off season. As soon as your season's over, whatever it is, then you go ahead and start demoing rackets. A lot of times there'll be new ones coming out, especially like in January. A lot of companies come out with new ones before the Australian Open.
Mm-hmm.
So I would probably steer them in that direction. But hey, if you think that is going to propel you to greatness, at some point you're going to have to live and learn, and go for it. And if it is the magic wand do and you play great with it, okay, terrific. And if you lay an egg because you switched, you can hopefully keep your pro staff in your bag and pull it out if things are going sideways.
Have you ever been that person?
Once.
Okay, tell me what happened.
It was switching from, was it the head graphite edge?
Okay.
And I tried a Prince precision response. It was some Prince. It was a bigger head. It was the first time I got to use a bigger head racket.
Right.
And I hit great with it. The pro was like, this is not the right racket for you. He's like, it's too much. It's going to bother your arm. I could not resist temptation. Got it. Probably 2 weeks later, just did not like it. Arm hurt. Had to go back and go, you were right. Sorry, my bad.
Oh.
And I don't remember what I did with it after that, whether I sold it off or ate it or what, I don't know. But
Okay.
so I usually tell that story if somebody, I go, hey, here's my experience. If you want to be, I hope it turns out differently for you if you're going to make the full full Monty commitment. But hopefully most people will,
We'll
kind of
heed the
reason.
warning.
Yeah, we'll reason with it, and then if they're still believing, then great. I'm not,
Now, you've obviously told this story many times. Has there ever been a successful transition?
That's a good one. I don't remember like a super successful one that I could, where I remember being that I was wrong or it didn't work or it did work for them. Not that I can remember.
Okay. Now, in a typical situation where a transition is occurring, how long do you think it would take to do a complete change from one racket to another and just be like, this is now my racket, I'm comfortable with it, and I'm moving forward with it?
Right. Are you counting months? Are you counting sets? Or what are you,
Let's go
hours?
months. Let's go times. Let's go time
If you go,
frames.
I would probably give it 3 to 4 weeks.
3 to 4 weeks.
If you're if you're playing, 4 or 5 times a week, you're probably going to feel pretty comfortable using it that much over a month's period of time. If you are playing that much,
Right. What level of player do you think that would be for 3 to 4 weeks?
Probably somebody, 4.0,
Okay.
high-level junior.
Okay.
Those high-level juniors, a lot of times they can't remember what they had for breakfast, so like, I don't even remember that old racket.
Right. Okay. That makes sense, because Coach Chris said on the, let's say, high level, he was saying about 6 months, and I was saying 3 months.
Okay.
To kind of get used to it. But at a 4.0 level, yeah, I can definitely see that 3 to 4 weeks, maybe 5-6 weeks
Right.
max, because it's like what you said, it's the next best thing.
Yeah, and it depends on how different or close to the racket you have.
Right.
Like
right.
if you're, barely making much of an adjustment in
Right.
terms of it's the same brand, it's not the same brand, but it's the same model more or less in a different company.
Right.
Then it's, weight is similar, your strings are
Right.
similar, tension similar,
Right. So if you're going from pro staff to pro staff, blade to blade, blackout to blackout,
Right.
then it's not going to matter a whole lot, because the feel is going to be the same.
Right.
If
If you're switching
yeah.
companies, I think it will take you a little bit longer.
Yep, exactly. Or going like from that to this or this to that.
Right.
It's too far apart on the scale.
It'll take you a little
here
longer to
adjust.
Yeah.
Right. All right, guys. So you heard it from Coach Chris. Now you heard it from Coach Rob. Any kind of adjustment, any kind of racket change, especially if it's like this far apart, is going to take you a while. If you're sticking with the same model, probably not so much, not so long. All right. Thank you, Coach Rob,
Sure.
for your advice.
No problem.
Guys, thank you for watching Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis. Coach Good, check this out. Swing Vision got new commercial out.
Oh,
Check out his James Blake and
Roddick.
Roddick. Oh my God, he's still playing.
I mean, he's still playing.
Whoa. What, dude?
That's damn fast.
I can do it, dude. Back in the day, I could do that. I could totally do that, dude. You can do that. Let's go, man. We can show them how it's done. Let's go. Come on. Let's go, dude. Let's go.
All right.
85 miles per hour.
That can't be right.
No, that's definitely right. Man.
88 miles per hour.
That's not a gigawatt.
One more. Watch me.
78 miles per hour.
Hey, man.
Something wrong with this program.
Nah, that's just you, bro.
Let you try.
Fine,
Let's
okay,
see what
I'll
you
do it. I'll do it.
You're gonna go 69 right here.
127 miles per hour.
You can check out your serve speed on Swing Vision 2.
Doc, we got an issue.